Hello, I hope you're having an amazing day and welcome back to the channel. So a few days ago, I made a review of the new Insta360 X4, but some of you have been asking, how does it compare to the X3? So I want to take a look at the video quality, stabilization, low light performance, and a few other details so you can make a better decision if you want to buy one of these, or if you're thinking about upgrading to the X4. But before I continue, I just want to make sure that you know that this video is not sponsored. The design of the X4 is very similar to the one on the X3, and I have to say that the build quality is very good on both devices. The X4 is a bit bigger and also a bit heavier at 200 grams, and I found that most of that extra weight is found on the battery, which is bigger and heavier on the X4. But the big advantage of this is that this camera has a much longer battery life. Using 8K with maximum settings, I was able to record for 1 hour and 25 minutes. And using 5.7K also with max settings, I was able to record for 2 hours and 25 minutes. And compared to the X3, at 5.7K, it will last for only 1 hour and a half. The screen on the X4 is made of Gorilla Glass, which should be more resistant, and it's also larger at 2.5 inches. Both devices have a good size and you are going to be able to carry them inside your pockets without any problems. And yes, they are both waterproof up to 10 meters without having any special case. The X4 now comes with 2 replaceable lens guards inside the box, and Insta360 is also selling these premium ones which are supposed to be more resistant. They are easy to install and they will protect your lens for the most part, but they must be kept extremely clean, which is not an easy task, and depending on the angle against the sun or how much you actually have, you are going to have some artifacts or glare in your videos. So I don't think that I'll be using them unless I absolutely have to, depending on the situation, you know. The size on the sensor on the X3 and the X4 is the same, but the X4 now has a new processor, which is the same one that the Insta360 Ace Pro has. It now supports H.265 videos, it has a maximum resolution of 8K at 30 frames per second, and you can use 5.7K at 60 frames per second. The X3, on the other hand, cannot record using H.265. It has a maximum resolution of 5.7K, also at 30 frames per second, and for 60, you need to drop down to 4K. There has been a lot of confusion about this. Lots of people have been saying that we don't really need 8K or even 5.7K. But for 360 cameras, it actually matters quite a lot because that resolution is for the entire video shot at 360 degrees. But when you select a portion of this video to make it a flat one, a big portion of that initial resolution is going to be gone. And trust me, the higher resolution that we use to get that 360 video will determine how good the final video will look in terms of resolution. So the main question is if there is a significant difference between the X3 and the X4. And the answer can be seen in these videos where the X4 has way more details, texture, and better dynamic range. The noise levels are not as high as on the X3, and all these videos are straight out of the camera, and I hope that you can tell that the color science looks more pleasing on the X4 than on the X3. Lately, I've been testing the low light performance on these two cameras, but you need to know that the biggest limitation is the size of the sensor, and Insta360 actually doesn't recommend using 8K on the X4 if there isn't enough light. I really have no idea why this is, but I still wanted to test how it looks like. So this is the X4 using 8K versus 5.7K. And it's interesting how the video using 8K has more noise and doesn't look as good as the video shot at 5.7K. Now let's take a look on how the X4 compares to the X3, both cameras using 5.7K at 24 frames per second. And in a few seconds, I'll zoom in just a bit so you can see why I believe that the X4 has the upper hand when it comes to low light performance. If we compare the stabilization on these two cameras with plenty of light, They do a great job and it's really hard to tell a difference between one or the other. And something that caught my attention is that in low light conditions, the motion blur effect that looks like a vibration glitch can barely be seen using auto settings, and that's a good improvement. With the X4 and the X3, you can use only one lens instead of using both of them, so they can behave just like a regular point-and-shoot camera. But to be honest, this was never a feature that I would use with the X3 because the quality was not so good and there is no 60 frames per second. With the X4, I feel that the details are there as well as the color science, as I said before. And to make it better, it can record up to 60 frames per second. And the only downside is that there is no 120 frames per second at 4K, and that's something that we would all like to have, right? Now that I mentioned that, I should also say that none of these cameras support 10-bit color, and I don't think that they're going to get it in the future. The X4 has some features that the X3 doesn't have, like gesture controls, so you can start or stop recording by just showing your hand like this. This works from any angle, and honestly, it feels very useful if you are a solo content creator. You can now use a cancel record function that lets you cancel the video that you're recording if you hold down the record button. And my favorite feature, which is not really a feature but I really like this, is that the X4 feels very fast and responsive when you start or stop recording or when you're using the menus. If you have an X3, you know that it's kinda laggy, although maybe you already got used to it by now. There's also been an improvement with transfer speeds using Wi-Fi or using a cable, and this is because the X4 now has a USB-C 3.0 port instead of 2.0. For overheating, I have done multiple tests outdoors and indoors as well with no airflow or air conditioning. And none of these cameras had any issues using their highest resolution with maximum settings. For the internal microphone, let's take a look at these videos. Can be good as a microphone test. So I don't know, it's like, we're gonna see. I'm gonna switch to the right side. See how the shadows hit my face. The internal microphone on this camera. So I don't know how it's gonna look like. I'm 20 centimeters away, just like a vlogging style distance. If you want to use a wireless mic, I recommend that you get the DJI Mic 2 for the X3 or the X4, and to save some money, you can buy a single transmitter because with these cameras, you're not going to need the receiver. The X4 is a bit more expensive than the X3, but in my opinion, the X4 is the clear winner if you care about the final resolution and the video quality that you will get. Even in low light conditions like on a cloudy day or indoors, you are going to get better results. And Insta360 will not like to hear this, but I don't see a point in getting the X3 unless you want to save some money and you're just looking to make fun videos without caring too much about the video quality. If you want to support my channel, you can buy one of these two cameras using the links down below, or you can also give this video a like. I hope you're having an amazing day and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.